I want to start at the beginning of trucking. I want to go through I want to go through the onboarding, the application process, the schooling, the on the job training, and like my first couple weeks on the job. I'm not going to do it all in one video. In this video, I'm just going to cover the application process and the onboarding. Um, Apparently all the starter companies are the same. Like there's a nice good handful of companies that will sponsor you to go to CDL school to get your CDL, and they'll pay for it, or they'll give you a loan, which if you fill out your contract and work with them for a year, then, or however long, then you won't owe them back. They'll just cover you. But if you quit or get fired, then you owe them. So it's like kind of like how they keep you with them, because they don't pay as much, but they're like designed for training. Like they at least my like a lot of the companies, they have like newer trucks, so they're more comfortable, easier to use. They have staff and managers that are used to working with newbies. They have like the mentorship training programs. You know, it's just set up for newbies to get in the door, and they don't pay as much. So then they give you that loan to lock you in with them, so you don't leave for somebody who pays more. Uh, that some people say they're all the same, all the starter companies. Some people say Prime and Rail are like the Prime Inc. and Rail are the best ones to go for. They both rejected me. I didn't know who to go through next, so I went to PAM. Some people, I've heard a couple people say like PAM is like the bottom of the barrel, that they pay the least. But like, again, I don't really know, because from what I can see, they do kind of all seem like the same, but I wouldn't know because I never worked on the other ones. But like Prime and Rail turned me down because my record's clean. I had one moving violation 3.5 years ago, and then I had like one stupid little drug thing on my record. So they both denied me flat out. And when I called Pam to like ask if they would take me, I told them, they were like, "Well, why did you get denied by the other ones?" And I was like, "I don't know. I think it's because of this stupid little marijuana thing on my record." And they like she laughed. She was like, "Oh, we'll take you. Don't worry about that. Forget those guys." Um, but then the onboarding process is really just, you got to get your permit first, which you do all on your own. The company will walk you through it, and they'll like pressure you to get it done within a couple weeks, but you're all just doing it on you're doing it on your own. You can find the permit manual for your state online for free, and you can study that thing, read it, read it fast, get like an idea of everything that's in there, because it's like 100 pages or something of like just dense information. Just like scroll through it, get an idea of like what the CDL is all about. Then once you've digested it, go through it again, read it slowly, memorize it, understand every part of it. Go online, take some free practice tests. They're free. Just take practice tests so you can figure out what you got right and what you got wrong, so you know what you need to study more. Take a couple practice tests, go through again, read it 3 times. Once really fast, don't memorize it. The second one, really digest it. Take a couple practice tests, and then read it a third time and really like brush up on those sections you need help with. And then, well, that's what I did. And then, what else did I do? And then it was easy. I passed that thing easy. There's like different endorsements. Like there's like the CDL section that's just general. Then there's air brakes, which is a separate endorsement. Tanker, which is a separate endorsement. oh, and then combination vehicles, which you obviously need to drive a trailer. And then there's doubles and triples and hazmat, which I didn't get. But I don't need them right now, and I can get them whenever I want. But then after that, so the permit was pretty much all on my own. Then I went to the DMV, took the test, got the permit. The company reimbursed me for it for the fees for that. You got to pay them up front, but they reimbursed me. At least Pam did. And then I think that was Primo that was endorsing me for the permit until that they decided they didn't want me anymore. But that's it. Then I went to trucking school, which was I had to get my medical exam, which went well, except for some reason I told them that I smoked weed like a year ago. Well, I don't know why I told them that, because then they didn't want me anymore. But other than that, the medical exam was fine. It's like really easy. You just like check your sight, like I think your hearing, and like make sure you can like lift your arms above your head or something. Oh, medical history, I guess. Which mine's clean, so I don't know much about that. And that's it. Then they sent me out to school, which they were gonna send me to Philadelphia, but the school kept being too full because they don't have many slots out there. There's only like 4 slots for students, not very big. So then I was sick of waiting. So then they sent me to Indiana, where they said then they were gonna cover more of my school costs too, because originally they only covered 2/3 of it, but they said if I went to school in Indiana they'd cover all of it. So I did that, and Indiana's better anyway. From what I hear, like it's really stressful and hard to learn in Philadelphia. The trainers are more hard asses. The traffic's worse in Philly, so people are really cool out in Indiana. They're chill. And then school is just a week. The first week is just heavy books, like 8 hours a day, studying, taking tests, just going through information with the teacher. Like the teacher just tells you all the info and explains it to you, and then you get a test to like just fill it out and make sure that you were paying attention. And it's like not a piece of cake. Like I'm a good test taker. That was my strength. That's where I shone. Like I had really good scores, but a lot of the class didn't. It wasn't super easy. It wasn't. I was working my ass off. My diet was perfect. I was like getting tons of exercise, making sure I was in tip-top shape. It was a rough week. And then after that first week, then the next 3 weeks is just driving. That's easy. I mean, it's the first few days weren't easy. Backing up and like getting out on the road, that was pretty stressful, especially driving a manual. But after the first few days, then the next week and a half was a breeze. I mean, it wasn't a breeze. Like you're learning and you're practicing, and it's like you have to make sure you don't screw up, crash the truck or anything, and pass your test. But it's like compared to the first week of the books, no, driving the rest of the school's easy. Oh, and then the pre-trip inspection, where you gotta like point out everything on the truck to look over before you drive for the day. There's like a bunch of stuff under the engine, on every axle. You gotta check a bunch of points on the brakes, a bunch on the suspension, a bunch on the tires. You gotta check a bunch of stuff on the trailer. Then the back of the tractor, you gotta check like lights and everything, and then the coupling system with the skid plate and the kingpins, the locking pins and locking jaws, the doors, mirrors. And there's the in-cab inspection where you're checking the windshield, the wipers, your safety equipment, your mirrors, your lights. Oh, and that's pretty hard. You gotta start studying that sooner than later. Like as soon as you get into school, you gotta start studying that. Just go over it. You don't have to memorize it. Just go over it. Say it out loud. Get it in your head, or at least that's what I was doing, and that's what everybody who did well with it was doing the same thing. There was like the people who procrastinated and didn't want to go over it and didn't want to go outside to look at the truck while they were going over it because it was too cold. Those people ended up staying later in school, like another week, like another fifth week, because they didn't have their pre-trip down. And then that's it. It's just like backing up, parallel parking. It's kind of, like I said, it's like kind of stressful the first week because it's confusing, but it's kind of simple once you get it. If you know how to drive a trailer. Like I knew how to drive a trailer already, but like a little one. So switching to a big trailer, it's a big difference. It's not the same at all. But it's like once you get it, you can see like, oh, actually this is kind of the same. That's it. I'm gonna make another video another time going over my on-the-job training and my first couple weeks solo. And I was just sitting here right now, like I just dropped a load, and there was no empty trailer for me to pick up, because you just like you drop and hook a lot of times. Like you don't wait for people to unload your trailer. You just drop your full trailer, pick up an empty trailer, and head out. It's more efficient that way. But there was no empty trailer now, so now they have me driving around Memphis, Tennessee, to get an empty trailer to find a load for me. So I'm just killing time. I did some paperwork. That's why I got my pen. And I still have my mask from the drop. And yeah, so I just figured I'd kill some time, make this video. But I just got some notifications on my phone. He voided my new. I mean, we got some stuff to talk about in these upcoming videos. There's a lot to talk about. Like, he just set me up with an empty in this yard in Tennessee, and he was gonna get me to do a load, but it was like he wanted it done this morning, like now, but on the paper it's not due till tomorrow. So I told him that, and now he voided it, and he's looking for something else for me to do. So I'm not getting paid right now. You only get paid when your wheels are rolling. But that's enough for now. Checking out. See you next time.